Today I'll be sharing with you guys a fun, riveting tale that can be used as a life lesson for future events yet to come. I have existed on this blue marble floating through the vacuum of space for about 18 years now, and throughout that 18 years of living, I have experienced like a lifetime worth of events. Most of it is pretty embarrassing because of me, because throughout that time period, nothing was going on in this head right here. Nothing was stirring in this noodle. I frankly couldn't think. My walls of my brain were just smooth, and yeah, I'm trying to say I'm a stupid kid back then. I really didn't make smart decisions, and I did a lot of embarrassing things. And one of it is going to be shared with you guys today in this video, and hopefully you guys do learn from this and don't do what I did, basically. So I'm here. Ready to share. I'm already cringing. I'm really not ready to share it, but whatever. It's a good life lesson. But before I start, let me give you guys a heads up. The concept of this video deals heavily around not rushing when it comes to texting a girl. Basically, what I'm saying is when you text a girl, do not rush things. Don't rush things with a girl. You frankly wouldn't know what will hit you in the future. And what gonna hit you is gonna send you 50 feet on the ground, and unfortunately I was sent deeper than that. Anyways, let's just begin, shall we? So I was in Sec 4, Secondary 4, or in freedom units in America, we call that the final grade of high school. Oorah, oorah. So yeah, it was Sec 4, the final grade of high school for me. It was the start of a new school year, and the start was very shocking because I saw this new girl who was gonna be in our class, and the first time I saw her, the first thought that came into my mind was, who is this? I've never seen her before. She must be new. She must be a transfer student or something. Well, would you look at that? My thoughts were correct. My assumptions were absolutely right. So, yeah, new girl had recently shifted schools because reasons, I won't get into it. So, yeah, she had shifted schools, and in my head, I thought that, hey, I think she's pretty fly. I thought that she was pretty cute, and in my head, I thought that maybe I could, start a relationship with her, just, yeah, shoot my shot with her. Hopefully, me and her can get married in the future, because that was the only thing I ever thought about during that time period. I had been single for about 16 years now till then, and I really hadn't get my pee-pee touched, and I really wanted to get my pee-pee touched. But I didn't know how, I didn't know who, I didn't know when. And I saw this new girl, and I thought, why not? And you guys been wondering why didn't I try shoot for like students of the same class that I've known for about 4 years? Well, it's because they knew me for about 4 years, so they know my personality. So obviously they wouldn't date me because they already knew me for that long. So there's this new girl, and I thought that she doesn't know me, so maybe my first impressions for her are like very different. Maybe she'll think me as a very cool person, like a total badass, total cool, badass, mysterious type of guy. So yeah, that thought came to mind, and yeah, I was hoping that she was the one at that time. So, well, the day proceeded as normal, and then English lesson had started, and during English lesson, what had happened was the teacher had basically wanted her and the class to introduce ourselves to each other. So basically, what would happen was the English teacher would select a student from each row and each column going down. One person talks to her, and then the next would talks to her, and then next and next. So the point is, my teacher wants the students individually to introduce ourselves to this new girl. So that happened. So the first student decided to introduce themselves to the first girl, then the next, then the next. Then as the students were just going by, I was just pumping myself up. I was trying to get ready because it was the first time in a long time that I've spoken to a girl, and by golly, I was nervous. The craziest thing is that was probably the most nervous I've ever been. And I've done even worse things than that. I have actually spoken in front of the school, like in front of the school hall. I had stood and gave a presentation to the school before. and that wasn't as nerve-wracking as talking to a girl. So holy shit, I was that much of a virgin. I really just sucked. I really didn't know how to talk to a girl, so I was nervous. So as the students passed by, it was close to my turn. I was really pumping myself up. I'm trying to say, all right, the blood, don't flow down there, flow up here. Start thinking. We gotta know what to say to her. We gotta think of how to introduce ourselves. So yeah, now I was going through the motions, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. So it was then my turn. Now when my turn hit, that was probably the scariest thing I've ever felt at that time. I stood up, quivering in my boots. I was shaking. I was shivering. I was thinking, what do I say? I gotta look cool. I put on a brave face. I was just smiling. My eyes were giving the hunter eyes. I tried to look like I was a model. I thought I was pretty cool at that time period, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't. I'm pretty sure everyone looked at me like, what the fuck is this kid doing? He's pretty stupid. But anyways, it was my turn. I stood up. I looked at her. I introduced myself, hi, my name is this, and your name is that, I know. Now it was now my turn to ask her one question. And out of all questions I could have asked her, I decided to ask her if she plays Minecraft. Which she was kind enough to reply and say that she does play Minecraft. And then after that, I walked up to her seat. I shook her hand. I walked back to my seat and sat down. I really don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that. I really don't know what. That was so embarrassing. Now that I'm looking back at it, it's just cringe. I really don't know why I did that. It's just, oh my gosh, that was just embarrassing. Maybe in my head back then I thought I was like super cool or something. Like maybe she was overcome with ecstasy. Maybe at that time she might have accidentally, wet her panties or something. Because maybe she thought I was super cool because I approached her in front of everyone and shook her hand in front of everyone. So maybe she thought that I was a super confident person. And she just, wet her panties right then and there. I really couldn't tell you. Maybe I thought that and, thought that we could hit it off from there. Then next time she'll see me, she'll just run up to me, give me a smooch of my smoochers and, and say, wow, you're such a confident guy. What was I thinking during that moment? But anyways, I did that and, well, I got some laughs from the class. I'm pretty sure they were laughing at me and not with me. And then after that, the class proceeded as usual, blah, blah, blah. Teachers were teaching, and then break time hits. So when break time hits, everyone obviously went to the canteen to buy food. My friend group, the boys, wanted to obviously go down and buy food because that's what we normally do. But I told them, nah, it's going to be different today. You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to try talk to that new girl. Since she's sitting here in class, maybe I should actually try give it a shot and talk to her. And, they sort of agreed to that. They really wanted me to go for it because, really, they knew how pathetic I was, how much of a virgin I was. They knew I needed my pee-pee touched, and maybe they were thinking that, hey, she was that one to get my pee-pee soaked. So there, they were full support. They would say, chat up, grow some balls, make sure it's 12 inches, make sure it's about as plumpy as a plum. And, shoot your shot, go. They pat me on the back and they went down to buy their food, and I stayed back in class to talk to her. So I went up to her seat. I sat right in front of her, and, I said hi. And, you know me. I introduced myself just now. And so I'd like to get to know you more. So is that kind of cool? That's cool, right? She sort of said, yeah, okay, sure, I don't mind. So then I asked her stuff, trying to get to know more about her, but she frankly didn't ask me a single thing. She didn't want to know more about me. It was more like me wanting to know more about her. So yeah, we were just talking. I asked her why she decided to shift schools, which I'm not going to get into because private life. So yeah, after that, we've talked before about like 30 minutes. And then after the 30 minutes was up, break had ended. And the boys came back, the bell rang. So I then walked up back to my seat where the boys were sitting, and, they congratulated me. They welcomed me back with open arms and loud cheers and applause because they were celebrating. They were so happy and proud for me that for the first time in 16 years, I have finally spoken to a girl. They were patting me on the back, they giving my balls a tickle, saying to my balls, good job for lasting out there for about 30 minutes. Congratulations. So, I was really happy right there. I was just, hey, I'm getting support from my boys, I mean, I spoke to her quite well. I didn't think I fumbled. Maybe I did, but I was too stupid to realize. So, yeah, I was kind of happy, and yeah, that's really about it. Days passed by. I would occasionally talk to her during break period. I walk up to her seat. I talk to her for a little while, but really, she doesn't really want to. Much to her dismay, she wasn't interested. She couldn't give a shit. She was just being nice. She didn't want to seem mean. So yeah, that happened. So days passed by. I keep on talking, and then this one fateful day, I had decided to go home I decided to go home with another friend actually. So as me and him we were going home, I had told him that hey, I actually want to text her, I want to text her for the first time ever because most of the time I've ever spoken to her was physically, which was, cool, I guess. I guess it was enough, but I didn't think it was enough back then for me. So I told them that, I kind of want to text her. I want to know her more. So, help me out here real quick. Then, he gave me the typical advice, say, don't worry, don't let your balls shrink, don't let your PP grow like -6 inches. Just be confident. Just text her and say, hey, how's life? How you doing? How's school for you thus far? All the typical things that a coach would normally say when it comes to dating. But I was scared to start the conversation. So as he was telling me this, all I was thinking about was I'm scared. I can't do that because I'm scared to text a girl. I'm basically saying I was a fucking virgin. I was just that bad. It's like I've been sitting in my room for about like 10 hours straight a day and I've never seen sunlight and I've never met a girl ever, so I was just giving off that energy. I was giving off that excuse. So, he was saying, don't worry, you can do it. It's fine. I got you. It's fine. All that. But I was just really just telling him I can't do it. I'm scared. So then here's what happened. He took my phone and decided to text her for me. So basically, I had wanted to text her, but I was too scared to. So he decided to do it for me. So it really wasn't me texting her, it was just him texting her. So he knew more about her than I did about her. Which frankly has got to be the saddest thing that ever happened to me. And that was probably the most pathetic right there. I'm walking on a fucking crutch right now. I'm on a wheelchair, but I can walk. I just wasn't confident in my own legs. So I'm just letting the wheelchair being pushed by my friend over here. So yeah, that happened, and then he needed to go, so we part ways. He gave me back my phone, and I was like looking at the chat, and I'm like, oh damn, I finally texted her. So I was super happy about that. But then I realized, oh shit, the car now has no drivers, so I have to steer the wheel. So then I decided to just push from then on, but I texted her worse than he did her. So yeah, that was that. So that really sucked. So yeah. Anyways, days passed by, same thing. I talked to her in school and yada yada yada. And then there's this one fateful day that I was out. I was actually out with my homies. We had gone out because yeah, why not? We were bored, so we decided to hang out. And on that day when we were hanging out, they asked me about her, how's the progress. I told them that hey, it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good, I think I did pretty fly, but I did not do fly, spoiler alert, I really didn't. So yeah, I told them that I think we were doing pretty good right now. I think we're getting closer, we're bonding. Then they suggested, okay, why don't you invite her on to a date? I was like, it's a great idea actually. Why not, invite her out to a date. So there was this movie that had come out. I forgot what, because it was like 2 years ago. So I forgot what movie it came out. So there was a movie that came out, and I was really keen on seeing it. So what I had decided was, I texted her, "Hey, want to go see this movie with me?" And yeah, when that happened, she was kind enough to reply and say, "Yes, actually, I don't mind going to see this movie with you." And I gotta tell you, at that very moment, I was giddy like a schoolgirl. I was jumping back and forth like a fucking kid who just got like a big Lego set for Christmas. I was super fucking happy at that moment. I swear, I'm pretty sure at that night I could not sleep. I was just doing push ups, sit ups, and some pull ups, I guess. I mean, I didn't know where to do a pull up, but I guess I was just doing some exercises to just calm my boners a bit. I was really excited, so yeah, I was energetic, I was excited, I couldn't sleep. So then I was really hoping for the day to come, and the day finally came. And when the day came, I was texting my boys, "Yo, wish me luck. I'm about to go on this date right here. I'm just gonna be super happy. I'm gonna be happy right now, so wish me luck." All of that stupid bullshit. So yeah, I told them that. They wished me good luck. And when I was going to the cinema, I had told her to meet at this time, this place, and we were gonna watch the movie. After the movie, we were gonna just hang out at an arcade and eat, and day's done. So I went to the place that I was supposed to meet her at, and I gotta tell you, that was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. Because as I was waiting, I texted her, "Yo, where are you at? I'm waiting. I'm here. I'm waiting for you. Where are you? I don't see you. I'm the doofus here. I'm wearing this. Maybe you're here, but you don't see me. I'm wearing this right now, so just approach me. So I was just texting all of that. There was no reply. Nothing. Here's the funny thing was, I can see where she was last seen. So I noticed that she was last seen online. And as I was texting her, she was last seen a couple minutes ago. So I was thinking, it can't be that bad to just open back my messages, right? So yeah, I was just starting to panic. I was like, oh shit, she's not replying, what do I do? So then as the time was approaching, the movie was about to start. I haven't even gone to the cinema yet. So I was like, oh shit, I gotta think of something. So I just called her. I called her like probably about like 3 times or so. Yet nothing. I got like no reply whatsoever. And I basically, at that day itself, I just watched the movie alone. So she basically just fucking ghosted me IRL. She just stood me up, I guess. I had invited her out. I paid for the tickets and whatnot. And those were not cheap tickets. We know the price of the tickets nowadays. They're not fucking cheap. So yeah, I paid for the tickets, but she didn't show up. So I just watched it alone. And by golly, that was probably the most saddest cinema experience I've ever felt. I have watched some sad movies in cinema, and I did not cry as badly as I did here. Oh my gosh, that really hurt me. Cause yeah, I paid for that, and you didn't show up. So, I mean, I really don't blame her for not showing up. For fuck's sake, just like come on. Here I am, a guy who she doesn't even know. It only has been a couple of days. It's not like we've built a close bond or anything. I was just too blind to see that we have not built a close bond. I was just trying to rush things. I thought that we had already built a close bond, but honestly, she was just not interested. I can already see the signs now that she wasn't interested, but back then I was too delusional and too stupid enough to see that she wasn't interested, because my brain has been smooth back then. The only thing that was in my head was, I need a girlfriend, I need a girlfriend, I need a girlfriend. I was a gooner back then. I was a virgin. That was all in my head. I just wanted a girlfriend back then so badly that I just wasted my time, effort, and opportunity and money for this girl who I have not spoken to a long time. So yeah, that happened, and after the movie, I went home all sad. My parents asked me how it went. I didn't want them to think that the money was for nothing, so I just said, "Oh, super swell! That movie was super swell. We watched the movie together, and and we hang out afterwards, and we ate." And then I just, we said goodbyes and whatnot. So I told my parents that. They were happy. They were clapping their hands. And yeah, woo! Congratulations, son. Looks like you're finally getting a girl now. Not really. Yeah, I hadn't really told them what had happened because I didn't want them to be super disappointed in me, I guess. But yeah, so that's the story. Okay, the point I'm making through the story is, don't try and rush things. Don't be delusional enough to think that if you think you're actually bonding with a girl, through a couple of only through a couple days. Don't think that you guys are close because it's only been a couple days. Don't think that you can go on a date with her that quickly. It really doesn't work like that. You really gotta take your time. Take about a month, maybe 3 months, to get to know her more. You know, gotta actually build that bond instead of just rushing it then and there. So, yeah, that's my life story that I shared with you guys. It's a very embarrassing one that is drilled into my head. My brain walls are tainted with it. It's painted. It can never be rubbed off. I guess it's a life lesson that I've learned through it, and I'm probably not going to repeat it. I mean, not probably, I'm definitely not going to repeat it. I mean, after that day onwards, I really haven't repeated that thing ever since. I took my time when it comes to talking to girls. So yeah, that's the story here. Don't rush things when it comes to a girl. That's about it. See ya.